Ah, here I am. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you are well. Apologies for being late. It's an extremely busy weekend for me, and I didn't want to cancel. I've been up since 5. Anyway, enough about me. I hope you had a nice week, and whew, take a moment. I scrambled, drove in, crazy time. So, that New Year's practice, right? Wow. Um, you guys are really impressive, I have to say. Thank you for practicing and praying in the new year. Um, I felt it. The level of participation was huge, and it really touched me. And you took the time for those who were able to. And if you weren't able to, didn't feel called to, that's totally fine. It's okay. But for those who came, um, thank you for taking the time. And some of you may have changed some of your plans. And I was really touched by the level of people. What I felt a lot, the closing practice, um, the level of participation I wasn't quite ready for. It was wow. And actually, I really felt it when I logged in for the California midnight practice. Um, I had to ask advice of someone as to what I felt because I'm like, this is confusing me. And it was because of all the level of participation. Um, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what so thank you. I wasn't ready for that. And I found it to be a really, really beautiful thing um, that you cared to pray in the new year, to bring in Yahweh's light, to bring in God's light, or to bring in the perfection of the universe, or whatever you wish to call it, um, to bless a new 365 days. And that's really something. And it wasn't a midnight quickie. um, you know, it was all over the clock. It was, especially California, somehow they seemed to like early in the morning or um, 2, 4 in the morning. But for all of you guys, it could have been 3 in the afternoon and you were at work or you went outside or, we all looked at our schedules and we kind of said, okay, this is the time, and made it happen for those 3, 4 sessions. And I was also touched by the amount of people who logged in on California times. I felt it. I was very touched that people made the extra effort for California time, as well as the California people. Maybe that's all the California people that I felt. I don't know how many people listen, but I now have an idea of, and I've been told, but I was blown away. So I'm just blown away. I could say that so many times. The care, the love, the prayers. I have to say, your prayers were heard by God. personal, familial, societal, and asking for Him to be present. Doesn't mean the new year is going to be easy. This coming year doesn't mean it, whatever. This world has its momentum. God gave us free will, for better or worse. The blessings of it, and also we have to live with the soup we've made. And the soup is not pretty. But that being said, there is God's grace, and there is the Shekhinah. And it makes a difference if we pray. It makes a difference if we pray. It does. It really, 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 really does. And if you have the heart of devotion, care, and love for God, or still struggling with God, as long as it's with a genuine heart to try to understand, and you do research, you listen to me, you read your holy books, to come to an understanding which, just to give you the cheat sheet, and what people throughout the ages have said, holy people, aesthetics in deserts and caves and all sorts of things, priests, rabbis. God cares. And God loves all of us. And He wants the best for us. And He listens. And He forgives. And He gives second, third, fifth, 50, 100th chances, as long as you do it with a genuine heart, and you're not trying to game the system. God is not dumb, and He doesn't get played. He cares. So when you study and you pray and you work through the blockages, and they are our blockages. There's not anything inherently wrong with God. He's not spiteful. He's not vengeful. He is not all these things. And when you read things or you hear things, you have to see it either in the human context, because we have free will, or why did He do those things? And read, study, see what the learned sages through the ages said. That's what I do. You know, Tanakh's, knowledge is not my strong suit. I'm working on it, and you hear me cite, and I think I do it accurately, and I check afterwards to make sure I do. So I work on it, and I try to come to an understanding. And I mention all this because what's important in the new year is our relationship of the heart with God. And it's a relationship, and we work on it, and we struggle with it. And we have to come, bad words. And hopefully we can come to a greater understanding of what He is. 72 Names of God PDF, which is in the archive. Not all of them, but the main ones, show the attributes, the qualities of God. And not BS. They're in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. These are attributes of God. And it's not good PR either. Let's promote the best aspects and, we're doing a good campaign. So if one's not able to see that, then that's where you work on it. You read, you study. What do great learned people of the ages have said about this? There's a passage. Well, get a study Bible out. See what commentators have said about this. How do you justify this with a compassionate God? You work on it. You use your mind. I gave you the cheat sheet. God is the 72 names of God. So, how do you reconcile what's happening in your life with what you're feeling, with what you're reading in one passage, which contradicts another passage? Well, don't focus on the passages that necessarily are in tune with what you're thinking. Understand, what is it? What's the nature of this text? What's going on here? Who wrote it? What's going on? Try to understand, who is it speaking to? What's the historical context? Use one's intelligence. And that helps educate the heart. You see, it's not just heart and body, which I focus a lot because that's the two things most people have no sense of. We're all good about the mind and thinking for most of us, though some people are the flip. They all heart and body and less mind. And a lot of people are all mind and heart somewhat, body they can't feel. So they haven't regulated the nervous system, which affects the mind and the heart and everything else. But the mind helps govern the heart, shields the heart, helps heal the heart. Knowledge is so helpful. That's why I speak so much. Not to get caught up in the words and the realities that I speak of, which all some of it, ooh, wow, look at this. And yeah, it is. And, that's what kept me going for so long. It just can't, like, wow, this stuff, oh, wow, right? I can't get enough, but it has to be applied. And I try to be sort of one-stop shopping because there's a lot of really bad information out there, inaccurate, and books have no longer published, and some of the books are 30% right and 70% wrong, or 80% right and 20% wrong, but better watch out for that last 20%. It'll really mess you up. So you see, so it's sort of everywhere. And as you get your sea legs, then you'll get a sense, okay, this is a little off, but this is a little right, and it takes time. But the understanding of God is loving and compassion. Family members will die. People will get sick. Good people will get sick. Good people will die. Evil people necessarily won't die or get sick. Why? Well, that's just the way this, fucked up dimension works. And because it is fucked up, I just call it, right? We have to be honest. But that's not necessarily God's fault. We run this planet. Our choices, who we elect, how we treat our neighbors, how we treat our employees. Do we try to scratch every last dime, not care if they have a living wage, so we maximize our profit? That creates people who are struggle. Then children who are undereducated, greater chance of domestic violence and child abuse. And then we've got the next generation of angry people who might be violent, murderers, criminals, steal, underemployed, don't have houses, right? And then we blame God, right? Hello. Yes, I've studied all this stuff. So, do we see? So, I wanted to kind of mention that. I don't know why I channel. So, it's important to have this fresh start. And I know a lot of people struggle with this. And this is the year of the heart. Oh, I like that. Let's go with it. This is the year of the heart. And so it's healing. And the most important thing to heal is your relationship with God. Let me give you the hierarchy. God first. It's really that simple. God first. He created you. You came from Him. You're going back to Him, hopefully. He can guide your life. It's the personal, most intimate relationship you have. Lovers, relationships, that's outside of you. God is inside of you. It helps you with your lovers, your relationships, and everything else. Your job. You take God with you, you're never alone. I know it sounds trite, but it's actually true. And so when we pray for the new year, when we get together and we say, Yari Ori, light of God, we pray a lot for the planet, but it's also the light of God that burns bright within us. That light of God that is at the altar of our inner cathedral, our inner temple, where our soul lives, where the Shekhinah burns bright, infuses with life. And where is it in our body? At our heart. In the center of our body. I don't know why people say the heart's to the left side. I don't know. I got to check the diagrams because every time it's so out there. It's in the center of the body. It's not, it's right, the heart chakra, and the heart is at the center of the chest. The center of us is where our life force is. Not in the head, not in the foot, not in the groin area, in our hearts. And from that central pump of life that gives us heat, that pumps nutrients through our body, that oxygenates our cells, which literally gives our body life. The second the heart stops is the second we go. If you think about it, it is a very, very, very precise and powerful machine. People live to hundreds. How many beats a minute for how many years? Could you imagine how many? It's millions of beats. And a lot of people pass on, and it's not the heart that went first. It's literally the seat of our soul that gives us life and beauty. And at the physical instrument is below that the most powerful chakra of the body. It's not the mind. It's not the third eye. It works differently, the third eye. It's not the crown, works differently. These are not necessarily physical chakras. But for the physical ones, the throat and below, and the throat's a little bit in between, but not really, the heart shoots out over 7 to 8 feet, 6 depending on the person. If you're more shut down and your energy is not going well, maybe it's 4. I have to look up the numbers. It's been a long time. But for a healthy person, 6, 8. If you've done a lot of work, well, it can really go far. It's the extension of your field. But really 6, 8 feet in front of you. That's why people say, get out of my space. You're too close. Well, it's a lot of it's the extension of your field that comes out from the heart as well, and the top and the bottom. See, I said I would discuss chakras, and look at me weaving it in here and there. God lives at our heart. He doesn't live in our minds. The Shekhinah, Jacob's chariot, descends to our heart, as well as the rest of us. But where does it mainly go? To our heart. The knowledge of the heart informs all the other chakras. Compassion, love, care, those are attributes of the heart. The lower chakras, more animalistic, desire, need, sexual all sorts of things. Nothing wrong with sex, but the negative aspects of it, problems with survival, whatever, are changed when you bring in the heart. The compassion, the care for others enter into one. So it's no longer into each one. So it's no longer the care for oneself only, ego based. It becomes for yourself and others. Sex becomes less, I just want to get off and I don't care about my partner at all, becomes more loving. You care about your partner even if it's a one-night stand. You go about life differently. And when you pass the diaphragm and you start living in the heart area, you start living in the third eye, in the crown and above, yes, that's possible. You could live from there while still being here. Your reality changes and the energy just flows. But it's all based and rooted with one's relationship with God, because the higher up you go, you connect with those higher frequencies. And where are those higher frequencies? See, it's just all really logical. What lives in higher frequencies? We call it heaven. We call it Eden. We call it perfection. Perfection of the universe, where we come from, what created us. Right? It's not the lower frequencies. Why? It's not possible. So this is where you sort of use your mind. You're like, oh, that makes sense. No, an alternative isn't possible. So what does that mean on how I engage my life? And you start transmuting, changing how you go about things. Working with mantras is transmuting the energy. You change. It's like a form of alchemy. So when you're angry and you do the mantra, you feel peace. So you transmuted the anger into, you moved it on, or you let it soften, and you changed it to something that's not angry. You could change it to understanding of the situation, so anger can become wisdom. Skillful. From violence to walking away, or violence to finding a way to repair, or violence to something. I always give extreme cases because it makes everything very clear. That's the power of mantra. You work with energy, you spin it, you make it fill you. You calms your mind with time, and you find the ones that do certain things. Yahweh Ori might amp you too much, and you need El Narifan Allah. You might need Rafa. You might need the 4 names like Yahweh El Shaddai, or what's some names I had in the past? I don't have the list. Let me pull it up. You find what works, and it creates you to the truth. So it's not like you necessarily say, this is what I need to believe. So knowing where to head is certainly helpful. It's allowing the energy to work with you and see where you end up. That's so perfect. It's letting the energy do its work, and you see where you end up. Because it has to do its thing. And it's clearing thoughts, blockages, energies flowing better. Energy rises naturally, and you start living in the more upper chakras. And as you evolve and change and heal and energy moves, that's when you start using different names, because you're in a different stage. Or you stay with the same one. Everything is in each mantra. It's not one's better than the other. It has everything in each one. Right? That's important. But they're just more tailored to certain things. Or the energies, that's whatever. Like for a while, I used to say one, and then 15 seconds later, 20 seconds later, the energy is in a different place because I sort of turned on the engine, things moved. Then suddenly I naturally go to another one. And maybe 3 or 4 minutes later, I just naturally transmitted to the one that has me in sixth gear, and I go for the one on that one. And then maybe a couple months later, I jump straight to that one, or I'm on a different one. But I'm not choosing to jump because I'm bored. That sort of leads the way. You're allowing the Shekhinah that is present in the mantras. This is so good. You're allowing the Shekhinah that is present in the mantras to start driving your car, at least when you're practicing. Go further than that yet. Naturally, the Shekhinah is going to walk your hand and guide you. The names of, that's why it's important to be careful which names you choose and from which tradition, because what energy is going to guide you. If you look at these names, how in the world can you go wrong with this? And I would make sure you go with things that you really know you can't go wrong with. It's bringing in a force that helps, that aligns, that raises frequency, higher frequency, greater health, more intelligence, greater wisdom, greater compassion, greater love. You feel lifted, things are less heavy, you think clearer, right? Isn't that logical? When you're depressed, you're in the dumps, does that, right? Or you're angry or you're overwhelmed. What does that do to your wisdom and your thinking? And what frequency is that? It's lower. Where are your central sort of resting frequency location in your body? You're in the lower chakras, and you're having problems resonating with the upper chakra. So depression with survival issues is very first chakra. And if you're there and it's pooling there, then, you know, the wisdom, the upper chakras, there's energy always going there, but it's not really where the flow's coming from or relating to. So you get stuck in the muck. See, these names help heal and move, and they really come when you have the love of God, or you're really trying to repair with a genuine heart. Getting stuck in the same cycle of questioning and anger, and it never shifts, well, you reinforce it, sadly. These names will help move and get clarity. You will see things in a different way, and it will help relieve things. It will help grow a relationship, just like it helps with the planet when we did our practice. We brought in the light. We brought in Yahweh. And so it's there. And we locked it in. Some of you may have been a little surprised how I said, it is sealed, it is done, and I logged off. I felt that. It was a little shock for people. Because if I had said anything afterwards, I would have weakened the energy of our practice. If I had said what I'm saying now, or even for a minute or two, even said thanks for your practice, it would have shifted the energy that we had created and would have weakened the sealing of it. Because your energy from the practice would have started getting more transitioned and muddied, and as would have mine. And the field was still fresh. So the best thing is to say it's done and log off. Boom. No leakage. So I wanted to share that so people have an understanding. You learn through practice. You learn through doing. You learn through explanation. It's knowledge to learn how to work with energy and prayer. It was the first thing I taught when I started 3 years ago now. Wow, 3 years. In March. And I recorded over 15 months ago. But the first 6 months, I sort of repackaged and they're released as the first releases on the PDF. And they all start with the names of God because they're the ones that aren't released. I repackaged some I didn't re-release. I was still learning and I was working on it. I wasn't nearly as suave and articulate as I am now. I was developing the skill and they're there. Teachings on the name of God are in the PDF. And if you want to learn, you go there. Yeah. So I didn't want to really say much today, but I ended up saying a lot. And I'm kind of happy I did. This has been a mantra fest, and it was not my intent. Though I did say for the winter practice we would focus more on mantra, but it's not like I have a little list. It just flows a certain way. I guess I got the theme right. And boy, did you guys get a master practice and get an experience. You understand through experience. And what I've taught leading in, let me tell you, nobody puts that in 2 hours like I did. That is me learning over years, taking a piece from here, a piece from there, a lot of my own experience, one-on-one conversations with masters, all of this stuff and what I've learned, what I've read, to try to present it in the way, and it's all sort of there. And, there's levels. And some of it make no sense. But in 2 years, when you've practiced more, you'll be like, oh my God, he actually, why? Oh, wow. And you don't think you heard it before because you weren't sort of there to understand fully what was being said, which is fine. Because I've read things, I'm like, this is no sense. And I'm like, well, maybe in the future, open mind. And then 2, 3 years later, I read it and I'm like, oh, obviously. And I remember, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't even close to understanding this, but wow, yeah, right there. I guess what I'm thinking is correct because look, here it is in the text. So when we start the new year, I think this is perfect what I said today. A little heady, not what I wanted to do, but we start a new year. How are we living it? Where do we go for refuge? How are we working with our heart? How are we working with God? How are we dealing with each other? We put out a frequency. We ask God to draw nearer. It's our choice. We draw nearer to God, the world changes. We go further away, the world changes. There's a certain relationship there. You go higher dimension, well, things move up. You go lower frequencies, things move down. Things get harder. Things get more violent. Things get whatever. So we're working, us at least, to improve, tikkun ourselves, repair our families, repair our society, repair our relationship with God, because this is the source of HP Shalom. Though, you can call it the universe, whatever, it's fine. Or you just want to self-improve and you don't believe any of the stuff like that, but you want to improve yourself. Well, that's fine. That's where you are. Power to you. That's fine. God doesn't need your belief to get you where you need to go after life. What is important is how you live your life. And what's your frequency when you pass? It's like God doesn't need to judge. It's like you naturally gravitate where you are, where you've been, sort of the sum accumulation of your existence here on this planet. And naturally, energy of a certain kind goes a certain way. You're lighter, you go to higher frequencies. It's really that simple. Consciousness is eternal. The body is a vehicle. So when you think it that way, nobody ever dies. There's no such thing as death. There's separation from those who remain, but for them, there's return to those who left before. Do you see? There's a different perspective of understanding that one develops, and when one reads the texts, because you see and come to see that the way society views things, or the way you kind of picked up or understood as a child, and then you carried through your life, or a way that you're influenced by those that are around you or whatever, are fine. Some might be good, some of the things might be bad, some of it indifferent. But when you work with it yourself and try to understand, and you do your practice with a genuine heart, you sort of open things are able to change. I got distracted by my screen and I lost my train of thought. See, I forgot what I said. What was I saying? We evolve. We learn, we grow. Our practice is our vehicle, and the vehicle is the Shekhinah and the frequencies of God, or the universe, or perfection, the higher frequencies. And they sadly really don't live here on earth. There's spots of them, the books, things are here, but the resting frequency, otherwise this would be Eden and perfection, and our bodies will probably be different and less solid, and we may live very long time, if not eternal. It's different. So we are reaching. We're using mantras to sort of infuse in us something that's hard to touch base here. When we do a New Year's practice and pray, we're asking for it to land here, to infuse here, to, when we lock it in, we ask it to stay here. So things can be a little better, a little compassion, or outright miracles. But we don't have expectations as to what they could be, and then be disappointed if things are horrible. Because that's the things of this planet, and we can't know what it would have been if we hadn't done our prayer individually throughout the year, or our relationship personally, or done the practice for New Year's. There's not like, oh, here's what would have happened had it not occurred. Things are bad. Things could have been horrendous or worse. But we don't know that, so we focus on the bad. We don't fully see what goes on as to why things happen that we don't like. It's a moving piece here. And we struggle. So I pulled up the PDF. So it's on the archives page. The link is on the thing. Please download the teachings. Middle section on the right side, it's MPEG 4. I've discussed it in other teachings, and right now there's 111. And I haven't been able to do the extra 10 yet for the people who need them. Hopefully in a week or so. It's just not possible. I haven't forgotten. So there's a PDF with the names of God that you could download in the PDF section, right? So there's combination names. These I sort of come up with myself that help me in my practice. So I offer them to you. They energetically work well, and you can try, at least for me, and you can try to make your own, and you'll feel it. You'll be like, ugh, because that combination doesn't quite work, or doesn't quite work for right now, or it's just a combination that just doesn't work, because it's there's frequencies in the name, and sometimes when you go higher and then you go to a different frequency in God, it doesn't quite flow, and they could be in the wrong order. See, this is sort of the exploration and understanding. Abba El Shaddai, Elohim El Shaddai, Yahweh El Shaddai. Abba Elohim El Shaddai. That's powerful. See, sometimes by putting 3 or 4 words together, you really have something that has a lot of oomph, because the combination really breaks through. You see? Breaks through, because the power of it just makes everything go still by its very nature of it. That's the power of words and sacred words put together. So again, Abba Elohim El Shaddai, Father, God, God Almighty. So I don't say it really with oomph, but I'm sure you could feel it. Let me give it with oomph. Ready? Abba Elohim El Shaddai. You see? Abba Yahweh Emmanuel. Yahweh Elohim El Shaddai. Yahweh Rapha El Shaddai. Elohim Eloheinu. Yahweh Shalom. Yahweh Rapha. Elohim Shomri. Elohim my protector. Yahweh Raha. Yahweh my shepherd. Yahweh Shekhinah. Shekhinah Shalom. That's one that kind of came to me 2-3 months ago. Isn't it beautiful? Shekhinah Shalom. Shekhinah Shalom. Super healing. Yahweh Shekhinah, then Shekhinah Shalom. It grounds it. Yahweh Shekhinah. It kind of brings in the Shekhinah. It grounds the Shekhinah. There's Yahweh, then Yahweh emanates the Shekhinah, right? The life force of God, what animates this planet. So Yahweh Shekhinah, you feel you're bringing in the Shekhinah, and then Shekhinah Shalom grounds it in you. Shalom is peace, love, care. That's heart chakra. So they both came to me at the same time while I was hiking, actually. And I was thinking about you guys and myself, and I'm having problems anchoring something. The Shekhinah, I'm discussing the Shekhinah, and that's not one of the names. Like, why isn't it one of the names? It should be one of the names. It's certainly holy. What's going on here? Like, let me think. And then came to me, Yahweh Shekhinah. It just kind of broke through. I wasn't trying to find things. It just, Yahweh Shekhinah. And I felt it come in. And I did it for a while, and then I said, Shekhinah Shalom. And then it embodied in me. It's like a 1-2. Do you see? You start with one, and that can go on for days or a week or just a couple minutes, and then Shekhinah Shalom. That's something to practice. You see, how does it make you feel? It embodies the Shekhinah. Yahweh Ori, sort of, oh, well, look at this beautiful flow. Yahweh Ori, now when I say that, after doing the Yahweh Shekhinah and the Shekhinah Shalom, sort of brought a certain Shekhinah flow into me. So when I say Yahweh Ori, I feel it stronger in me because I've brought in the tap, the juice, the flow, and then Yahweh Ori, the light's been brought in. So when I say it, it's already in me, as well as outside of me, as well as the blessing. See, it's multiple levels, but we, our bodies, are the vehicle. We have the plumbing. Excuse me. We have the voice. We have the vocal cords. We have our minds and our knowledge and understanding on how to do it and why. So we're very important. We have our chakras, we have our nadis, we have our sephirots, we have that. So that's us. That's our instrument, and we work on it so we can embody, and it flows as proper and not sideways, and correct, not off, wise, not diluted. You see all the positives, right? And so when we bring in the force to our vessel, right, like a cup, we've cleared it enough, we've cleared it inside, it's open, it's clean, or we're working on it, which is fine, or it feels overfull, but we still do the practice and we work on it, some practice, and it works. It clears, it works, and we do it and it works. But then at some point, you have a pretty clear thing, especially when you line up. You allow everything else in your life to fall away, right? Then when you bring in the nectar or the Shekhinah, the pure life force, it fills it up. And there's not a lot for it to work with, and things are clear. So it's just like a sponge. It's more like a cup, and you've. I thought this would be a quick teaching, but shalom, shalom. Where's my picture? And I love when I can go back to some teachings because it helps with the new people and reminds us all. And I explain a slightly different way, or it makes more sense because people are in a different place in their path. They've come to a different understanding. How about these beautifuls? So easy because now I have them in my little folder. Let's see, which one do I show first? Not that one, not that one. I like that one. Okay, we'll go with this one. So we repair 24 karat gold, repairing, clearing what's inside. So all the dirt and the muck and the sand and the silt, right? Everything I spoke about, the stones, it all works away, the damage, the hurt, everything, wrong ideas, bad ideas, not good ideas, misunderstandings of things, or resentment, everything in that cup, right? Everything that's in us, we work, we clear. And then there's the possibility when we work and we clear, our cup becomes like this. More and more, and it's not all of a sudden, but it starts shifting. Now, that's perfection. So this is what we work for. Pure cup and a full Emmanuel, right? Pure. aligned, blessed, holy. This would be a living saint, holy person, a full Emmanuel, incarnation, call it many things. So regardless of this, when we bring in the Shekhinah, our cup fills. The Shekhinah and the mantras are strong. So even when we meditate, we can feel this for a moment in time. When we do the mantras and we let the mantras flow through us and we release and we let go in that energy, and 30 minutes could feel like 2 minutes, and we're in the flow and we're like, oh my God, this is so blessed. When we're there, we could literally become that cup for that moment in time. Because the energy is this, and then we try to carry it with us through our day. And the more we do it, the more longer and in a deeper way we can carry it into our day. Yes? And so when we call in a name, what is it? Yahweh Shekhinah brings it in. Let's see here. Oh. All right. Not fully there, but close enough. Right. Forget about the Elna Refanallah, and Yahweh Shekhinah brings in the Shekhinah. Do you see? Look at this. Bringing in. I don't think I've shown this one yet. I hope the colors are right. Not really, but we'll just ignore the colors. The chakras are below. No, maybe they are. No, I don't know. Not sure about the yellow. It doesn't really matter. So do you see what's going on here? So it goes from the Sifravot, the Shekhinah comes in, and those are our chakra points on the bottom. So we flow, and these are clean colors. You see? Purple, third eye. The gold is the crown and above. Blue is the throat. Green is the heart. Red is the first chakra. Orange is the sexual chakra. And I haven't thought about some of these things in a while. Oh, it is yellow. Well, it's correct. Shalom. So, do we see? So, it infuses, the Shekhinah grounds in us. And this works with any of the mantras. This one's really good. There you go. Just the Shekhinah as the angel coming in. Shekhinah is both masculine and feminine. Do you see? We bring it in. And look, there's the stained glass, our inner cathedral. And where is it really there? Look, heart chakra. And look at below the colors, the rainbow colors, the perfect colors. When like this is fully aligned in our body. And look, he's in full Vajra position, full lotus. Hand posture, not quite, but hey, but that's actually an open posture when you're emanating outwards. It's a radiance. Shekhinah comes in, he's aligned in perfect center. His head is perfect up. You see the little dot where the third eye is. I don't know if I can, the forehead. There was a way to increase the size. I'm not going to fuss with it. I can't, well, another day. I can't quite figure this. Oh, that easy? Lord. I figured that out a long time ago, but I didn't notice it here. Oh, you won't move it to your screen. Okay, just on mine. So you see it in the heart. So it comes in the perfect posture, even on the left and right side, the balance of the feminine and masculine energies. Right? For men, masculine on the left, feminine on the right. For women, they're flipped. So feminine on the right, on the left side, masculine on the right, which is why the leg position is different. This guy actually has it correct for a man. Women would need to flip it the other way because we're polar flipped. But this position takes a long time, and don't hurt yourself. You could really hurt yourself. You have to work into it, and any position is fine. But you see the Shekhinah coming in. It's in the body, then the body emanates. It's the vessel coming in with the grace of God, which has always been there. We're not bringing in anything new. Because without that, that's our life force. We wouldn't be alive. What we're doing is making our currents flow. Look at the legs. You see the gold? Those are the energy currents in the body. Do you see the heart? There's things coming outwards, and then and it's coming into the hands. Those are the energy currents in the body. The glow of the head and the lights going outwards, right, like a halo. Those are actually the emanating of the light that's been grounded in the body that comes out in the aura from the person. But it comes from within him, but it also comes from the channel he has from above or transcendent. So it's both. But there's enough infused in his heart and in his body and the alignment that it has affects how he radiates out. Peace, aligned, tranquil, balanced, stable. Do you see? So when we do our mantras, it helps us, like buffing, little buffing, like smoothing something out and purifying and whatever. And then so when we bring in the Shekhinah and then we say Shekhinah Shalom, the Shalom, if you feel it, Shalom, Shalom. Where do you feel it in your body? Shalom, Shalom. It's heart chakra. Yes? The sound's not sharp. Shalom. Shalom. At the end, right? The really brings it in. Do you see how syllables work? Shalom. 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 Do you see? First letter of life, of the alphabet. Shalom. Ba. Connects with God. Ba brings it in. Ba. Do you see? Shalom. See, sounds are critical. Hence the order of things. Yahweh Ori, Yahweh Azi, Yahweh my strength. And these are names that you can call on God. Find one that works for you. Rapha Sholim, healer of the sick. Ose Shalom, maker of peace. El Emet, God of truth. El Amen, faithful God. These are names of God. El Olam, everlasting God. You can call to God in these names. They're beautiful. They're things to sort of, each one has blessed syllables. And when you think of them, you work with them, you read them, they infuse you with a vibration because they're blessed on their end. The syllables, the way they used, where they were found, how they were created, is blessed, and therefore it blesses you. Doesn't mean you go working on every one, doesn't mean the more the better. In every name is found all the other names. Right? So you work and you look and you study, and if you never look at it again, at least you read it through once. But then you have an understanding how holy names and mantras work. And we could bring this into our year, bring this into our life, bring us into on how we go about things the best we can. It's in relationship. It's in relationship. I like pictures because it just makes it very clear. We're very visual people. That's it. The connection to God. Jacob's ladder, our central column, rising up, aligned, and up. See the very top of our heads going up, and it comes back down. It's a communion. I've never shown this one. This one's advanced. Profound. You have to know the Aleph teaching for it to make sense. Is it a little? Let me see. Hold on. It's not quite centered. One day I will explain this fully. Oh, it's on my end because I zoomed it up. Profound. So at the core of every chakra point is the Aleph, the Shekhinah, the life seed of God, and it's all connected to the Aleph, the creation before there was a creation. We're never divorced from that. That's why the Aleph is so profound. At the core of every chakra, there's the essence of creation before there was breath and life. Always a connection with Yahweh. And what we're doing is we're working for that to flow in ever greater amounts into us. We're always connected, but we're working to sort of clear the connection. So we say it comes outside of our body, and to a certain extent it does, but it's also baked into our body. Remember at the beginning, and many times I said, oh, is it from the outside? It's from the inside. Sometimes you think it's from the in, it's from the out. Is it both? And then you're thinking in duality, is it neither? Nah. And that's when it starts getting interesting, because you realize you're thinking in dualistic way, but when you're resting in it, when this fine fella is resting in it, let me tell you, he's in neither. He's just in a state of being, of presence. Inside, outside, he don't think that. He just is. The mind has stopped. He's in the flow. He's not thinking. And yet he's never been more alive in his entire life. You let go into the name, into the mantra, and you let the flow carry you. You just do it. You might have an intent towards the end or at the beginning for something, you think of it, because they could be used that way. you have an issue, you think about it, or you go in and you're at 1,000,000 miles per hour and something irritates you, or you need, or there's a emergency or health, and so you're focused on that as you do the mantra. Perfectly good way of doing it and highly skillful in those situations. And then after a while, it sort of opens and unpacks, especially if you're doing it for a while, and then you rest in stillness. Like this guy. This is not easily, it could be for some, attainable. It's not out of the reach of anybody here. You just flow, and it could happen after 3 recitations or just 1, and you've learned to let go, and you're present. Yes? So when this is what that's pointing towards. It's all the main chakra points. Third eye, the crown, you can't quite see that one on top. Slightly too low, though, is the throat, but the heart beneath. So they're all there. Solar plexus, sexual chakra. And then at the bottom of him, sort of where the butt is, that's the first root chakra. And then the one on the very bottom between the 2 feet, there should technically be 2. But hey, at the bottom of each feet on the sole is 2 chakra points, 1 on each side. And at the hands, at the palm, facing out, is the other chakra points. So actually, it shows all the chakra points, except they should be 2, 1 on each foot, not so much in the middle. But short of that, this is a highly profound image. And it shows alignment. You live this, you're that, actually you're full Emmanuel, you fully aligned vessel. But you still have your personality. It's your flavor. Just the best parts of who you are. So if you like ice cream, you will love ice cream. Or it was never that good for you, you suddenly have shifted to something else and you'd be like, where have this been my whole life? Because that's where you should have been from the beginning. Or you switch from chocolate to strawberry, but had you been fully cleared, you would have always been in strawberry. So but you can't choose the road. You don't know. So you get confidence in the names and you just go for it with your eyes aware and your mind afterwards just saying, wow, this is so good. I feel better. I acted better. I'm doing this. Oh my God, I'm starting to understand. Third eye, I think, is clearing. I'm starting to understand things, that I'm able to communicate better. You start seeing the improvement and then you get confidence in it. You begin to trust. And so when we did the practice for the new year, we were bringing in the Aleph. We were bringing in Yahweh. So it's a little closer. So it's a little available. So if you were able to do the practice, you actually did the practice with a lot of people. So the connection now is very much grounded in you. And it has. Through listening, through the group practice, for your individual practice. It's anchoring deeper into you. It's anchoring deeper into me, thanks to all you guys and our practice, and taking the time and the desire to do it and putting your heart in it. And if you weren't able to do it, that's okay. Do the practices. You are connected. You will be connected. Everybody in this planet is connected. Do they choose to walk the path where they become more connected, more sensitive to these energies, so they're able to live from it and not live from coarser, more whatever ways of living that's just heavier and thicker, and therefore they can't live that way because they're so overpowered in a different direction. We choose to walk the path. We choose to take our time. We choose to make a decision to have a certain focus. And it doesn't need to be a lot. You're not taking the steering wheel and doing a 180 in the other direction. It could just be like, a little here, a little there. And then suddenly you're in a different place. And then suddenly you want to completely change lanes because you realize, oh my gosh, habits start small. Small decisions can make a whole different road open up. So it doesn't have to be like I'm jumping into the pool. It could be like, oh, here's a little something. Let me have a look at what this is. And so let's maybe make this the year of God, the heart of God, working with our heart. Here's one. I think I showed this, but it's a while back. Just mantras. This what we call the Star of David is actually very profound. It's Abba in one. There's many ways to talk about it, and I haven't really talked about it. So when you look at it, it's not just Judaism. It has a profound teaching. The triangle pointed up is the Ah, us reaching up to God. The Ba is God coming down to us. The triangle pointed downwards. Do you see the two together? Just let me briefly discuss, and it won't be complete. Is like a way of seeing it as Jacob's ladder, going up and it coming back down, right? The Shekhinah, us connecting to the Shekhinah coming here, or the Shekhinah coming down, and then we're able to connect up. So it's a two-way street here. It's also the symbol of, it could be, of non-duality. Above and below, unified, is beyond both. A connection that's beyond thought. And what we're having here is saying the sacred names of God. And see, it's rising up to God, and the radiance that's coming out from the chakras and down to us, right? Because it's radiating out, is infusing in us. And also in the body, as it's said, because it's going into his aura, he's hearing it, he's feeling the vibration, and vibration in the throat affects the whole body, and vibration, even if you're thinking it, affects the nerves and the energy in the mind, which is the whole body. And also, if we do the prayer beads, you're seeing it's also coming out of the prayer beads. You see, it's subtle, but it's there. So when you move it in the prayer beads, as you move them and you say the name, it comes out of the prayer beads too, because they're blessed. And you move them, it emanates from the prayer beads. Hence the power of prayer beads. Hence how they heal. Hence how they help anchor your practice when you're needed. Hence why it helps. Do you see? Because it becomes a sacred tool. You don't worship it, but you treat it with reverence because you've infused it with the names of God. Because as your hand is moving them, it's hearing the vibration and everything. But if you notice, remember there's a chakra point in the wrist there. So as you're moving it, one of the body's main chakra points is right there. And energy leaves the body through the right hand. So it's literally, you're saying it, it's in your body, and then where does it go? It could emanate through other chakras, but a lot of the exit for the body is the right hand or the right foot. So as you're moving it and you're saying it, it's actually being empowered by your hand as you're doing it, you see. And hence why I like natural stones, because they can hold energy. You find the stone that works, so you use a quartz if you can. I have problems handling quartz, but you work with it. You see, and there's a whole thing. Just check the PDF. Now I don't have to even find it. I just say check the PDF. Last summer in May, how to make a mala. So you see, prayer beads. And so you see, so you pick a frequency, you pick a name, and it's with love. The head is down. He's turned inwards. You see how his energy is not outwards? The mantras are said within, unless you're saying out towards someone or to a situation. But it's very much an internal, private practice, even if you do it as a group. It's an inwards, and he's resting in shalom. Do we hear? And in a way, when we're doing the New Year's Eve practice, this is very much what we were doing energetically. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, so we're not alone. We're not going through life alone. This is available. Prayer, love, um, supplication. But what I see this is devotion. Devotion is the heart. The love of God, devotion to your practice, gratitude. Not everybody's quite there yet. You work to it. It might never be quite that level. And for others, their head would be against the ground in front of it. You see, and the word is Torah or the sacred stuff, but it's really the covenant with God, God's connection and care for us. Our relationship, it's the Abba. It's the guidance. It's the names that are contained. It's everything in our relationship and sort of who and what how we work and we walk through life. And so we have devotion to God. From the Sephardi tradition. God is at our center. That's it. That's the whole path. And it's not that we're leading outside. That's also the ladder, and everything could very much be our body, where we are now, and we're working up, and the top light is right above the crown chakra. And energy goes up, energy comes down, and we are working with our alignment, our connection with God. And so our New Year's practice was to anchor that and for it to be there for the planet, and hopefully things will be a little better for it. Might not be what we want or what we would think it should be, or things or whatever, but it's what it is. And we trust. And it's really none of our business because we can't begin to understand. So we don't judge and we don't find resentment. We just work on our love and our connection with God. God first, everything else follows. Our relationship with God or the universe or perfection is the most important one. It informs and guides us for everything else. And so I say, my dear friends, I hope this new year blesses you, your families, our planet. May every grace, wisdom, compassion, love, and care be with you. Amen. So thank you for joining me today. And may it be blessed this coming year for all of us. Shalom and amen. And until soon, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.